Hey, what's up, everybody? How's it going? It's Ed. Hope everybody's doing good. I want to give a shout out to the Vape Facebook page that's I really recommend, and I never really spoke about it in my previous videos, but it's really awesome. Honestly, everybody basically is quit smoking or is trying to quit smoking by vaping, and they share their success stories and how long they've been smoke free and etc. and what kind of kits they're using, their little tips and things like that, and they just support each other, and it's just amazing. It's Quit Smoking by Vaping, I think it's called. Oh, I can't believe I don't know the name of it. Um, but anyways, it's really a solid. It's like a community. This whole thing is really like a community. I mean, yeah. Okay. Going back on track. That was my buddy Jasper. He's helped me get through some uh, tough times when I was trying to quit smoking. Let's put it that way. But anyways, back on track. Anyways, it's called "Quit Smoking by Vaping" or something of that nature. I'll probably confirm it a little bit later on. And if I don't get it right, I'm sorry, and I'll get it right in the next video. It's weird, like I spend every day on it, and for some reason I can't remember it right now. One of those weeks. So Friday night, just chilling. Wanted to make this video. It's been 9 weeks that I've been smoke free. So no cigarettes, not even one puff. I'm really, really proud of myself. Like this is just going so like amazing, but much more than I thought it was going to be. I was pretty confident at the beginning of when I was started to vape. I'm not gonna lie, I had a very open mind to it. So you have to go in with that open mind, knowing that it's gonna be a little bit different, but you might even learn to like it or even love it. Like, to be honest, I love it right now. It's great. Like, it's saving my life, and I'm really ecstatic about that. So I wanted to make this video on a couple of tips and situations that either I've been in, or just ways to prepare for certain situations. So, number one for me, I got into vaping, I guess you could say pretty seriously. So, I knew going in that this was going to be the tool that was going to help me to quit smoking. And as soon as I took that first drag or whatever you want to call it off of a vape, I was really impressed. Like, don't go out and buy one of those stupid uh, gas station ones. Like, those aren't gonna help you. I mean, you're gonna pay $8 or $10 or whatever. At least here in Montreal, it's like, somewhere like in the $8 to $9 range. So I mean, and they last for like maybe a week or something. Like, just really not. Hey, stop that! Sorry, he's scratching my lazy boy. Anyways, those things don't work. So, you know, get away from the fact that, those things are going to help you quit, because they really probably won't. I haven't even seen one success story with those things. Not that I've done a lot of research on it, but from the people that I know, have been trying to quit smoking and they use that, it don't work. So go out and get a good unit, spend $100. I mean, I had some people that were like, "Wow, it's $100," and I'm like, "Well, yeah, but like, think about it. Like, it depends on how much you smoke, but in my case, that was like 10 days of smoking. So I'm thinking long term at this point. I'm thinking like, okay, like screw it. If I'm never gonna have to buy a pack of cigarettes again, I'm willing to put $100 right now. Don't care. It's my life. It's your life too. So think about it in that aspect instead of thinking of it like, okay, it's a one shot big investment. It really isn't. Like, think about it this way: you're not gonna have to buy another one, like for a while. I don't know how long these things last. I've had mine for, 2.5 months, something like that. I haven't had one problem with it. So I would really recommend getting like a really solid one, like a good one, like the E-Leaf or, something like that. But I mean, there's different ones out there. Of course, I mean, it just all depends on your personal preference and which one you like. But take the time, do your research. Maybe if you have like a vape shop, like we have one here. Go out and test them out. The place that I went, I was able to test it out, and try the tank and everything. I knew nothing about this. I was completely like a greenhorn walking into this whole thing. So, hopefully there's like a shop or something, or, like I said, go to that Facebook page. I want to say what's up to everybody, by the way. But it's just amazing because you'll find the answers, but you got to look for them. And don't be afraid to ask the questions. Like I knew nothing about it. I didn't know I didn't know what the hell a coil was. Like I didn't know like they call these things juices. Like I didn't know anything. And I'm getting a little bit more knowledgeable now and things like that. But it takes time, and it's quite interesting actually the whole concept behind it. But what I recommend is like going back to my number one, which was like 2 minutes ago. Get a good unit. Very important. A good tank. They usually recommend like what goes with what and things like that. Like I said, I got the E-Leaf along with the Nautilus Aspire Mini, something like that, and basically the juice that goes with it. So it's pretty basic. It's like three things that you really need. And then what I also recommend is I'm paranoid about things breaking down on me, and I don't want to put myself into a situation where I'm out of my control, so to speak. I don't want to go through any suffering through this whole thing. I don't want any of that. So what I did was I bought a backup unit as well. Like not right away, but like my following paycheck, considering I saved some money from not smoking and things like that. I mean, look, right off the bat, I mean, I know it cost me $100, and then I got some juices, whatever. So let's just say it was like $120. Okay, so I know that like okay, fine, that's like 2 weeks of smoking. So I didn't really save that much money in the first aspect, but again, think long term. For me, it was like $11 a day that I was spending on a pack of cigarettes, maybe even more sometimes. But you got to look at it again long term. So I got a backup unit like a couple weeks later, or you can do it whenever you want, whenever you have the extra cash. And I got a backup tank, and I got some extra juices, so I stocked up on juices. So I started with 18. Actually, I started with 12 milligram, but I didn't find like it was enough. It took me 10 days to quit smoking on this thing, roughly. I think so. I'll do the calculation another time. But anyway, it took that long, and that's pretty much it. So, but going into it, I didn't want, again, when I finally had that quit date in mind, let's see here. Yeah, so I mean, like, I said, okay, what do I need to do to be prepared for everything? So I stocked up on juices, like I just mentioned. I started with 12, but then it wasn't enough. I cheated a couple times, things like that. I went to 18, and after that, I never looked back. Like that was it. Once I went to 18 milligrams for me, that was enough. I got everything that I needed out of vaping, so to speak. Good throat hit, lots of great flavors, whatever. But you can get that in any nicotine. It has nothing to do with the flavors, and I mean depends on each brand is different, right? But anyway, so I stocked up on juices. So I made sure that I had like I don't know. I went a little crazy. Like I for sure bought like 3 to 5 bottles or something like that because I didn't know how long they were gonna last. I didn't know how many times I was gonna have to fill it up. So I went out and I spent some money, but I knew in the long run that I was gonna be saving a lot of money. So that's the key. That's the key. You go in, like I said, get like five juices or something like that, because that way you make sure you have it. And you don't want to be stuck in a position one night. Like I'm just saying, worst case scenario. Let's say you're with your friends, whatever, and then you're like, oh shit, like I have no more juice, and oh. What do I do? I gotta be in this place for the next 3 hours, and I don't want to have a cigarette. And you don't want to put yourself in those situations. You want to go into this whole thing being really smart about it. So what I do is wherever I go, to this day, maybe with a couple of exceptions, right? But like to this day, wherever I go, I bring obviously my vape. I bring my backup vape unit. So I have a backup E-Leaf, a 30-watt one, with like Kangertech tank, and the nicotine level is lower, but it is what it is. Like I know that it'll get me through that tough time. So And I also have like there's this little like travel kit that some of these places give you. And if not, then you could just obviously make your own, take like any pouch or little bag or something and just keep it on you. So, and that bag consists of, for me, how many things are there? I think like three or four things. And what I always do is I keep in my kit, obviously, the backup unit I keep just in case, because you never know. Fully charged, very key, by the way. You don't want to like have a backup unit and it's dead, and then you're screwed. Don't like again. Think smart. Think like, okay, this is important. This is your life. This is your health. So always think of those things, right? So you have your backup unit in this bag. Okay, you have backup coils, very important. You have your charger, so something that you can plug into obviously the wall, or like any sort of like laptop or TV or what, anything that has a USB port basically. At least for me, because these things, my particular unit, all you have to do is have like a USB cord basically, and it can even be like an iPhone. I think. Wait, maybe not an iPhone, but there's a couple of them out there. Sorry, like there's specific chargers that you can buy for your phone, and they kind of they basically pull apart, so to speak. So like the wall socket and the actual cord, like it's kind of like a USB slash wall socket. If you guys know what I'm talking about, those things are cool because number one, you can charge your phone, whatever, but you can also charge your unit. At least this one is like that. So always keep your charger. Going back to what I was saying, always keep your charger handy as well, just in case. So what we got? We got your backup unit, okay? You got the coils, I'll get into that in a second, and you got your charger, okay? Now the fourth thing you want to have is a couple of juices because again, you don't want to be put in a situation where you don't have enough juice. Everything's working, everything's charged, but if you have no juice, you're screwed. So have those four things on you at all times. For me, it's been helping wonders. So I'm never worried about, oh, if I'm out, this, that. Like, you got to put a little bit of effort into it. You got to be prepared. I've heard some horror stories with these guys, and like, oh yeah, like I was doing great for like a month or whatever, a month and a half, and then like, oh yeah, I was on a beach in Florida, and like I had my unit, but it died, and oh yeah, well, hey, we were drinking and this and that, so screw it, I had a cigarette. And then the guy told me, he's like, yeah, I had like a whole bunch that night and then the next morning and whatever. So you can see how it can kind of snowball out of control, and you don't want that. So be prepared, get those things. As I was saying, so yeah, number one, your backup unit, like again, your charger, your juices, and coils. And what I wanted to talk about that is because one time I was on my way to my parents' place. Now, luckily, I don't live too far away. So what happened was I was puffing my vape in the car on the way there, and then I noticed it started to taste like really burnt, like really gross, disgusting. And I remember it happened a couple of times when I first started vaping and it went away. Now I don't know if that was just because my taste buds were kind of like reviving themselves or what, but all I know is I was like, oh shit. And I was going over there to have a couple of beers. And I think I was like 3 weeks in at that point. And it was like, I was going over there to have like dinner and a couple of drinks. And from any ex smoker or smoker or whatever, you know that those are a couple of big triggers. Big meal, couple of drinks. I knew myself. I said, okay, what am I going to do? Okay. I wasn't there yet, but I was literally about 2 minutes car ride away. Now I didn't, at that point, I didn't live too far away from them. So what I did was literally, I gave him a quick call. I said, look, I'm just running a little bit late. I forgot something. I'll be right back. So I went home at the time and I said, okay, I knew that I had a backup coil. Now, thank God that I did because who knows what would happen that night. So I had a backup coil which came with my tank. So the glass tank here came with a backup coil. Thank God, because I thought that these things like lasted a long time for some reason. Nobody told me different. They don't. Sometimes, I mean, unless you're doing one of you build them yourself or whatever. But these things sometimes it depends on the juice and the wattage and all that stuff. But maybe they'll only last like a couple of weeks. So I didn't really know that, but I knew that I had a backup one. So I jet back to my place. I picked up the coil,
Then I went back and I assembled it myself, and I had no clue what I was doing. Like the guy showed me, like, 3 weeks before that, but I forgot, So I literally kept the instructions. I read. I went through it. My dad's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Look, just give me 5 minutes here. I got to put this together, and that's it." So again, these things are really key. I got a bunch of backup coils, and these things are really cool because it's like a pack of gum. Like they literally pop out of the things, like it pops out of the package like a piece of gum, like Excel or whatever. So it comes in like five. So I knew today I had one left. So I went to the store, I got an extra five because you never know. Again, I don't want to put myself in that situation where something happens and oh shoot, this store is closed and I don't want to suffer, through this whole thing. I know that I'm still addicted to nicotine, but I don't want to go through like a big withdrawal and all that stuff. It's not a very fun period, although it only lasts like 3 days or whatever. But I'm not ready to go through that right now, and I'm not ready to give up nicotine. So why suffer in the process? So these are just little tips that I want to share with you guys because it's so important. You don't want to put like a month or 2 months in, and then all of a sudden something happens on that day or you forget your unit or you forget this. Look, it's gonna happen. There was times where I went to work and I forgot my actual kit but had everything. Now, see, I also plan things out really, try to plan things out really well. So I said, okay, well, what do I have? Okay, like I was in my car literally, and I was like, okay, do I go? I can go back upstairs and get it. Okay, well, okay, I got my charger in my pocket. Okay, so that's gonna be set. All right. I have like a backup juice that was in my coat pocket too. I said, okay, I rolled the dice for sure, but I knew that I would probably be okay to get through the day. I knew that I recently changed the coil. I knew that my unit was fully charged. I knew that I had enough juice in it, and I knew that I had a backup juice. So, all the liquid was there and everything. So I was like, okay, I'll probably be okay. But again, it's rolling the dice. You never really know what could happen, right? So I always keep the backup unit just in case something happens. Say I drop this one, the glass breaks. Oh shit, now what? No, you got a backup unit, it's cool, and then you go from there. So just wanted to share with you guys a couple of tips. Again, like we're all in this together, right? We're all doing it. We all want to succeed, and you don't want to let not succeed and slip and relapse, and you're back to square one, and then you're feeling sorry for yourself, and you know it is what it is. It might happen, and it's not the end of the world, but you want to try to you keep the good thing going, keep it rolling, and everything else. So anyways, rambling on now, but you guys get the picture. I wanted to share these tips for people that are just starting or people that have been vaping in a while and maybe, sometimes we all get in our comfort zone and we think everything's going to be fine. But the reality is sometimes it does not. And when it does not, you want to be prepared and you want to be ready for those moments. So with that, let you guys go. You guys take it easy. We'll talk to you soon. See ya.